IITA. This is International Institute of Tropical Agriculture, and where you are is the Communication Office of the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture. We welcome you once again on behalf of the Director General of the Institute, Dr. Simeon Ewe, and of course our leaders at the Communication Office, the Head of Communication, and of course the radio lead. This is Radio IITA Farmers Outreach, the third in the third year. It started 3 years ago with coincidentally with Soybean as well. So again, we're back. This is the third year in a row. My name is Dada Bamishe. Before we begin, we'd like to meet everyone. We'd like to know whether you are also starting off as a soybean farmer or you've been practicing, your challenges, moving forward, what you're looking forward to learn from our experts here today. After we've done that introduction and getting to know ourselves, then we'll introduce our leaders from the soybean program and of course the communication office. So we say good morning again. We'll start from you, Ma.
Yes. Good morning, everybody. I'm Mrs. Adiba Owadi. I'm a soybean farmer for, I say, more than 20 years ago. But from day to day, you need more innovation in order to know what to do and how to improve your farming activity on that. So I came here today in order to know more about how I can improve my yield and have more benefits.
All right, thank you. Round of applause for her. Yes, basically what we're here to really do is to also learn new techniques, new innovation, to see improved ways of agronomic practices. Thank you very much.
All right, sir. Good morning. My name is Wale Biji. I work in the National Soybean Research Institute for plantation. Been into soybean for 5 years now. The way it looks is like more or less a routine, but I believe there's room for improvement. So I think I'm ready to have more here.
All right, please a round of applause for him as well. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Mrs. Adebayo from Moyo. So I started about 5 years ago, and I just want to acquire more knowledge about it.
All right, all the way from Moyo. Thank you for coming, man.
Thank you very much. I'm Oladipo Tiyo. I'm a practicing soybean farmer for over 7 years and also a research scientist. Thank you.
All right, round of applause for us as well. Thank you for coming.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Udra Radejoke, a soybean farmer. I'm here today to gain more knowledge about soybean farming. Thank you.
Thank you. Round of applause for us as well.
My name is Bello Haruna. I'm a soybeans farmer. I'm here to learn more about soybeans production and breeding programs. Thank you.
Thank you. Round of applause. Thank you.
Good morning, all. My name is Ndidi Akwarando, and I am here to learn more. I've been into soybeans 2 years. I'm here to learn more. Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Round of applause.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kingsley Olainka. I'm a soybeans farmer since about 20 years ago, 15, 20 years. So I'm here to acquire more knowledge, new techniques, and more innovation on how to go about soybeans.
Thank you for coming.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Busari Saif. I'm coming from Oyo East Local Government. I have been in soya-based farming about 5 years ago. I want to learn more techniques about the productive and production of the farm.
All right, round of applause for him as well. Thank you for coming.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Adewale Olulade from Ido Local Government around the Oluyole extension in Ibadan here. I have been a writer and a publisher, and of recent, I decided to diversify into agriculture. So I'm less than 2 years now in agriculture. Now, while I'm here this morning, hearing about this training on soybean, I want to get exposed and try to see the economic advantage compared to other crops and possibly delve into soybean as part of my take. Thank you.
All right, a round of applause for him too. from economic advantage to learning new techniques. I'm sure, of course, we're all prepared for what we'll hear from all our experts today. Soybean is more than just a crop. It is a powerhouse, enriches soil through nitrogen fixation, and of course provides protein for human and of course livestock. We welcome you again. I will make a brief introduction of our leaders from the communication office and of course from the soybean breeding unit. We start from the soybean breeding unit. They are the sponsors and collaborators of this event today. We introduce Mr. Kendi Olabode is here with us. A round of applause, Mr. Kendi. We also have Mr. Ajayi Ademola is also here with us from soybean breeding unit. We have Mr. Fadare Toby as well. Thank you for coming. And we also have interns from the soybean breeding unit who are also here with us. Please stand up for recognition. Let's see you. You are welcome. You are welcome as well. So we make quick introductions of our leaders from the communication office. We start with the head of our communication office here at IITA, Ms. Catherine Lopez. Good morning. We also have Ms. Daji Odok. She's the radio lead for Radio IITA. A round of applause for her as well. We have our colleagues from the communication office as well. We have from the audiovisual unit and of course from the radio. We say welcome everyone. We'll begin with a short remark from the head of communication office, Ms. Catherine Lopez. A round of applause please for her. Thank you.
Thank you, Dada. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, and so welcome to IITA. Like Dada mentioned, this is the third year of this activity, Farmers Outreach. And we started with soybean that very first time. So really, we've come full circle. You're a new batch of farmers working with IITA. So this is really a welcome opportunity to have you here, and we want to listen to your stories, like we were saying. So you're not here just to learn from us. We're also here to learn from you, because we know when your work in the field meets innovations in science, you know that we're co-creating solutions, right, to problems in the field. So that's what we want to happen. It's not that IITA owns, or knows everything about soybean. We also want to learn from you. So please share your stories. We want to listen to them. We want to hear what your requirements are. We want to also, after this, we also want to follow up and learn more on what's happening with your activities on the farm, but also how soybean research or innovations from IITA have actually helped you improve your lives or the farm or the community. So yeah, we said soybean is not just an important crop because it contributes to the biological fixation of the soil, right? It makes the soil more fertile, but it's also a very important economic crop. It's very versatile. It provides a lot of opportunities for business, for nutrition, for helping us with our food security. And I think that's the best part of it, because you're here not just to learn about the techniques, good agronomic practices, but we're also here to network, to meet partners who can help us not just with the business, but also with the research. And of course, to widen our relationships with other farmers, because like we said, we learn from each other. So hopefully, you will continue the connection beyond this activity here today. And we'd like to thank our partners from the research team. They have been the real driving force behind this. But we also want to thank our colleagues in Radio IITA, for organizing this, and our other colleagues from NTRI and partners who are here as well to help us make the learning more exciting and more, this activity more productive. So with that, again, thank you and welcome to IITA. And let's continue the learning. Okay?
Round of applause for her. Round of applause. Thank you. That was Ms. Catherine Lopez. She's the head of communication office. To re-echo what she has said, we're here to also hear from you. Let us know your challenges so that the researchers who are also working on some of these things can also improve on what they are doing. We are here to also hear your challenges as well. Please feel free to ask your questions. Feel free to make contributions as we proceed on the program this morning. We now invite the radio lead for Radio IITA 88.5, Ms. Daji Odok Blessing, for a short remark. A round of applause, please.
Great farmers. Great farmers. Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for being part of this session, or this training this morning. And I just want to reiterate what my boss said. I think it was the yam farmers during was it yam or cassava or so? Like she said, we're going to be learning from you while you learn from us. The reason we gathered you here today is to find out the things you know, to see how, and then the challenges you've been facing in the course of your farming, and then to improve on your knowledge. If you've learned something wrong, we need to unlearn and then relearn something new. I think during the yam farmers outreach, some of the farmers were complaining about rodents. Yes, and our researcher was there, and he mentioned something. He said maybe they'll go into a research to find out if there's something in the yam that is attracting the rodents. So those are the kind of feedback we want to get from you, to know the challenges you're facing in your soybean farming. And like they said, we started with soybean during the first edition of the outreach, and we're happy to have another set of soybean farmers. Now, I also want to introduce you to something we're doing. It's called Farmers of the Year. I'm sure you saw the video. We are going to be recognizing your efforts. So whatever we teach you here today, we want you to go back and replicate it. We can't have all soybean farmers in Southwest or in Ibadan here. So that's why it's a training of trainers. So we train you, you go back and train your colleague who is also interested in soybean to learn whatever it is you're learning from us today. So what we expect you to do is to participate in the competition, to win the award, because we're going to have the Farmer of the Year for each crop, for all the 6 crops, mandate crops of IITA. So for this team, what we expect you to do is when you go back, you train, send us photos of you doing exactly what you learned here, starting from the training. You're all in the WhatsApp groups. So you send us those, don't bother about editing or anything. Take pictures, take videos, and then write your name, all right, so that nobody picks up your work. Write your name and show us your face to stamp your identity on your entry. So from training to planting, clearing the farm, planting, harvesting, everything, all the process, because we're going to send the videos to them and the photos to them. They are the ones who will choose, choose the winners, who will know who actually followed the entire process. So we welcome you again to IITA, and we hope that you're here with your rain boots. It's raining today, so we're going into the farm. It's not just going to be classroom and all talk. We're going to go into the farm for practicals to show you how, whether to put 3 soybean in a hole or 4 or 5 or 1, and how to do that. All of it, you're going to learn everything, and feel free to ask questions, all right? Be open to learning. Ask questions, and I'm sure you're going to have a very great time here in IITA. Thank you again, and welcome.
A round of applause, please, for her. A round of applause. Thank you. That was Ms. Daji Odok Blessing. She's the radio lead, IITA, Radio IITA 88.5, and she's rightly said it all. Please, there's an award for the Farmers of the Year. So we expect that what we've learned here today, we see some of those things on your farmland, and you can send us pictures and videos. We'll also quickly like to acknowledge all our viewers online on Facebook. Please, if you're just joining us on Facebook, we say thank you for joining us. Welcome. This is Radio IITA 88.5, and of course, it is the Farmers Outreach for soybean farmers. Please As you're watching us online, please send us your questions, send us your observations freely on that app that we're streaming live. Our experts are all on seat to answer your question. We'll now invite Mr. Kende Olabode for the presentation. Please, a round of applause for him. Yes, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Great farmers. Great farmers. Sorry, I'm not from communication, so I'll start talking like a farmer, and I don't have English, so you manage the one I have here. And I want to welcome everybody. Thank you for coming. Thank you for honoring our call, because it's a privilege to impart. It's also a privilege to learn from you, because now I have to be careful. Maybe I will not even use my slide again, because I have people with 20 years experience here. Well, am I even up to 20 years on that? All right. I believe you are going to learn a lot. And see, one from Excellence Center. You've gone to Abuja to go and learn. See, where am I? I'm just in Ibadan. All right. Thank you for coming, and thanks to my colleagues for joining us today. Thanks to Ms. Kati, Ms. Daji. Thank you for having us, the host in general. I believe we are going to learn a lot today, and it's going to be impactful. All right. So very quickly, we are going to be talking about soybean production. And what do we need to do? How do we need to improve things? We've been doing this thing before. Then we'll just see together, how do we need to improve things? Maybe some things might be in this slide that we just have to look together and say, this have to go, right? Then we fix it. All right, very quickly, slide. We'll just do a little brief introduction. So definitely we know that soybean is a leguminous vegetable of the pea family, just like the beans that you know. Which other legume do we know? Beans, bambara nuts. Experience poor. Bambara nuts, yes. Chicken pea, yes. Yeah, chicken pea. Cow pea, yes, that's also the beans that we know. It's just that the name is different. All right, we also have groundnuts. These are the leguminous family that we have. And soybean was domesticated in the 11th century BC around northeast of China. So this is something I need to also pick for you. The history of soybean is not an indigenous crop in Nigeria. I hope we know that. So it was brought from Asia, was brought from China. And from there, we made it an indigenous crop. And do you know that most crops that we have, they are not actually the way we see them now. It was because they were improved over time. Let's say, for example, our banana. Our banana is something that used to have seed inside it. And definitely, we also know that soybean comes in white color most of the time, or cream color most of the time. But do we know that it's actually not that sole color of white color or cream color that you know? We have other colors from where they came from. All right, so it is believed that it might have been introduced to Africa in the 19th century by Chinese traders along the east coast of Africa. So, through trade, they brought in this as an exchange. And thanks to IITA in Nigeria, they were able to even make it popular in Nigeria, thanks to the fathers of soybean that established these things. And now we have soybean even all around. And don't be surprised that we still have some places, even in West Africa, that don't have soybean. I hope we know that. So it's an advantage for us in Nigeria that we have this thing now. We know it. Even children know soybean now. They drink soy milk. And we have places like Sierra Leone that we are just introducing soybean to, places like Liberia that we are just introducing. A researcher and somebody that is even not just a novice that works in a research institute was asked me and said, I just want to see how soybean looks like. Can you imagine? So we have the hedge, we have the advantage, we should not allow the sacrifice of these fathers to go in vain. All right, so next slide. Now, this is just introduced to you that we have different colors of soybean. See, this is the black seed, brown seed, and other colors. And now we are the white color is popular, but you know that sometimes you even have the light green or the cream color that we also have. So they come in different colors. This is the history of soybean. Next slide. Now let's talk about the production and potential of soybean. Does it have potential? How far can it go? Why do you have to be into the production of soybean? What can you pick from it? What can you get from it? Now, soybean is an important crop for both human and animal consumption. I believe we know this, that it's a very nutritious crop in terms of all the nutritional components that we have in it, the protein, the oil, the starch content, and everything. It's a balanced crop. And one of our nutritionists, through facilitation, was saying that, God forbid, we have a child that lost the mother at birth. Soy milk is something that can be given to a baby. So it's as nutritious as that, and not just for human as well. It's also nutritious even for animals. So when you have extracted the soy milk or the oil from the soybean, the soy cake from it can be given to animals, right? So which means that there's nothing that is really lost in soybean. And when you feed your animals, let's say your goat and sheep like that, the difference you will see is going to be instantaneous. You start seeing their skin shining. I've seen it beforehand. It's different from the one that comes from the fiber that comes from corn. It's different because the nutritional benefit that you have in it is like enormous. And because of that, you start seeing that goat, shaking body as if he's eating the whole oil cake of Nigeria. All right, so the next one says the crop is widely grown in the northern region, particularly in the Guinea and southern savannah. Do we agree? Now, the reason why I intentionally added this is, then why are we not also doing the same in the southwest? Do we have the land? Do we have the climate to support it? So what's happening? Why are they still beating us? Why are we not planting this thing? So we are bringing this to us today so that we can take this advantage. Nigeria is the largest soybean producer in sub-Saharan Africa. Do we also agree? We do not agree. Yeah, we are the largest producer in terms of land mass. We are the largest producer, but our output is below South Africa. So in terms of what is going out, South Africa is producing more. Is in tons. They record everything that is going out in tons, right? Now, why? Why then are we having covering more land area, and yet with the smaller land area of South Africa, they are exporting more? Can somebody just tell me what can be the reason? Sir? Ma? Technology they have, like the mechanization, right? There's one other thing I actually need. Ma? No, not that one I'm looking for. It's something that we are missing. Yeah, methodology is, it's in line of what I'm looking for. It's in line. Yeah, because we are not focused on the varieties to plant, the management, just like the methodology that you said, the management and the technology, just like I've said. Now, the variety to plant, adaptability, and the yield that comes out from it. Most of farmers are still not knowledgeable that you need to focus on seed, not on grain. Most people go to the market to go and purchase their seed to plant, and at the long run, the output they're supposed to see, they don't see up to that. And how do we maximize the land that we have? You are planting on 1 hectare. What's the plant population that you are supposed to have on 1 hectare? This is what they capitalize on in the south that we are not doing. And do you know that it's not just South Africa that is beating now? We also have some southern African countries that are also trying to beat us now. If we are not careful, we have Malawi, we have Zimbabwe, we have Zambia. These guys are coming because they have the land. But the funny thing is that they have short duration of rain, just like 3-month rain. And for us, we can plant the early varieties, we can plant the medium varieties because we have the rain. So if you miss June, for example, you can still plant by July. If you miss July, you can still plant by August. If they miss the time they're supposed to plant, that's all. And they still have this bumper harvest. Now, soybean production has increased in recent years due to rising demand and crops nutritive value. So every year, the demand for soybean is increasing. It's increasing because, first of all, the nutritional component in our soybean here in Africa is higher than what they get in the US, for example. So they still demand. They plant, yes, they still demand. So even farmers prefer to export. And despite the fact that we've not even met up with the demand, the internal demand, feed meal and the likes, oil, production, the processing, the other processing that we have from soybean. We've not met up with the internal demand. Still, there's bumper foreign demand. So why will farmers not plant? So it means that we are really behind. We have a lot of advantage surrounding it. So that's the production, and we've talked about the potential of going into soybean production. Now, just some uses and economic relevance, just like somebody said that they want to know about the economic relevance. Just a brief one. I tried to make this slide as precise and simple as possible. Food, we have series of food that we can get from soybean. Soy milk, tofu, soy flour, and baby food. Now, please, can you give me others that I don't have here? Soy cheese. Soy nuts. I don't even know that. You will teach us before you go, ma. Yes, soy gari. Although they fortify it with gari. Yes. Please help me, because we can get like 100 from it. Okay, before we go, you teach us before you go, ma. Soy nuts. All right, feed. Of course, feed the soy cake, like I said, the chaff, like I've said. The biomass itself, the leaves. You know, we have people that actually plant varieties that have plenty leaves on them, just for the sake of feed meal. They are not planted to harvest the seed itself, but just so that the animals can go there, graze on it, and feed. Then we have oil production. Oil production, that one is popular. Cooking oil and margarine, and even what's it called now? This Bama. It's used as a base for Bama, right? Yeah. Income generation is an advantage. With all these things that we've said, income generation is sure. Because the value chain for soybean is like continuous, it's like unending. From for example, you are the farmer, and we have another person that is into the mechanization, and I'm giving out my own, I'm not planting, but if you need machines, I can give you. That's a value chain on its own. And you have somebody that is just an agro shop, I'm selling the seed, and I'm selling the node mass. That's a value chain. Everybody doesn't even have to be on the farm. And we have the processors. We have the people that are doing soy milk. And we have the soy milk giving the cake to the poultry, or the oil producers giving the cake to the poultry. Now it's a continuous circle like that. The value chain is just continuous like that. So income generation is not breaking. It's not breaking. So there's a point that I'm even missing out of it. Storage. What about storage? You can just create a room whereby you can just, farmers, they want to store, they want it to be available for the next market and the likes. Just open store, and you are keeping it. Because of the oil content inside soybean, you need a good storage for it. So income generation is solid. Soil fertility, because of it's a leguminous crop, it conserves nitrogen in the soil, and because of its way of fixing nitrogen, the next crop in terms of rotation gets a lot of advantage from it. And you know that maize, for example, loves nitrogen, and is not really dropping anything on the soil. So when you rotate soybean with maize, you are getting nitrogen for the next crop. So soil fertility is something that you also get from soybean. Now, the increasing consumption of animal protein and industrial demand for oil and feed has made soybean a strategic crop in Nigeria's agricultural transformation agenda. So there is no way they can mention 5 crops in Nigeria today that soybean will not be mentioned. There is no way. 5 crops in Nigeria today, it has to be mentioned. All right, next slide. All right, so These are some of the ones I can call part, but I can't see soy nuts here. But there's wara, there's oil. So these are the major ones that I can find online. This is soy milk. This is soy yogurt. This is bread. This is flour. This what's it called now? Sauce. Yes, sauce. God bless you, ma. This is sauce, tofu and the like. So tempeh, and others. So these are some of the things that you can get from your soybean. Thank you. Next slide. Now, but to plant now, as farmers, I believe that there are conditions that are necessary for soybean production, and we need to know these conditions. And these are the reasons why we are still behind in our production output in Nigeria. So we need to know all these conditions that are necessary. Now, temperature. Soybean requires a warm temperature between 20 degrees to 30 degrees Celsius, and for optimal growth. So we does not have to be too cold or too hot. You are going to see something, but that's not the output you are supposed to see if you don't plant in the right condition. Moisture. Adequate moisture is essential, with a minimum of 600 mm, 24 inches in annual rainfall or irrigation. So we don't need a swampy environment to plant our soybean. We need moisture, quite all right, but you need a draining soil, not the one that a soil like a clay soil. So a loamy soil is what you need, and so moisture is very important, and you have to plant at a period whereby the rain is moderate and average rainfall, not peak rainfall. So unlike tubers, so many people, once they see this the exception of rain, they start planting soybean. Is that the right time for you to plant? No. So you have to look at the time whereby the rainfall becomes peak and then goes moderate, then start falling. Because if it does not fall at the time of maturity, it's going to coincide with the maturity, thereby damaging the seed. So you have to time it. So if they are planting, for example, in the north by June, does not mean you have to plant by June in the southwest. Because when the rain is stopping by October, it's still falling in the southwest. So you have to look at when it's subsiding, right? So soil, wet draining, fertile soil with a pH between 6.0 to 7.0 is ideal. You need sunlight, of course. Every plant needs sunlight. Soybean needs full sun with at least 6 hours of direct sunlight per day. Altitude. Soybean can grow up to 1,000 meters, that is 3,000 feet above sea level. I know most of us we don't even check the altitude. Soil nutrients. Soybean require adequate nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and other micronutrients. So despite the fact that it fixes nitrogen, which is an advantage, if your soil is so deficient of nitrogen, you might need to add nitrogen fertilizer or rhizobia to it, right? So phosphorus is also good. It's also very important for its fruiting. Phosphorus is important for the pods itself, and potassium is good for the leaves and other micronutrients. Water availability, consistent moisture, especially during flowering and podding stage. So at a time when it's going to pod, so it has to go through the vegetative stage. Then at the first reproductive stage, which is at the flowering stage, that's the time whereby we need to make sure that we give it maximum care. Because if it misses those flowering stage and maybe some of the flowers are bought, what they are supposed to actually transform into reproductive growth, now you are going to lose some pods as a result of that abortion, right? So at that period, you need good rain, not excessive rain though. You need good rain as at that period, at least for it to transform to that reproductive stage. Then you need to make sure that the environment is clean, so that not when it's supposed to be getting good nutrient from the soil, it's also competing with the weeds, right? So these are some of the conditions. Next. Now, let's now go to soybean farming process itself. the innovations, the things that we say we really need. Next. Of course, land preparation. Now, in the course of this introduction, we've talked about the kind of soil that we need. Now, choose suitable soil. Choose suitable soil, and please, can you tell me the kind of soil we're talking about? Loamy soil. Drained soil. But clay soil should be okay now. All right, what about rocky soil? Maybe it's not too bad now. We can put it. Eh? All right, thank you, sir. All right, so this we now know the kind of soil that we need. So once we want to plant ourselves, or we need to make sure that we are helping some other farmers around us, please, this is very, very important. The kind of soil, suitable soil for it. Now, clear off all vegetation, that is mowing. Prepare seedbed manually with a hoe or animal-drawn implement or tractor to ensure good germination and reduces weed infestation. Now, land preparation can be like normal, but it's very, very important. Well, it's important because if you get it right, you would be able to manage your weed by like a percentage down. Because if you have done the spraying after you've cleared the weeds, you spray, and at least those first weeds, you kill them with the glyphosate, then you turn. It's even good that after you do the first harrowing or you do the manual turning of creating the bed, you leave it. Let those weeds again come out. Then you can now do the second harrowing. By that time, you can now plant. So if you have a marker that you want to create furrows, you can use your marker. But if you are doing manually, you can just plant manually with your ropes. So we are going to be seeing the practical of that, the spacing and everything. We are going to be seeing it on the field. Now, this is how your field is supposed to look like. For those that are planting probably in the north, whereby you have runoff, you can do a ridge like this. But normally, you just in the bed like this. So, of course, in the north, you see they use a lot of animals. You can cow they suffer. So, they use a lot of animals for land preparation, even for ridges. So you can see this mechanical preparation. So this is how our bed is supposed to look like, not the one that we still have a lot of weeds around, and you say, don't worry, we'll spray everything together. Let it be clean first, even before you spray pre-emergence. Yeah, even before you spray your pre-emergence. Clean and neat. Next. All right, choice of variety. Choose a variety suited to your agroecology zone. Now, this is the question. Maybe I should ask one after the other. Which variety of soybean do you know? TGS 1448. You don't know, sir? 1448. 1448. 1448. Is what you know. That's what you know. Now, thank God for this. I know this man. Sir, which variety do you know? You should know another variety by now because I know him. This is his second year. Yes. I don't forget face like that. Yeah, what's the variety that you know? Soybean. It's only 40 that you know as well. Now you see that we have variety choice issue now. So from this survey, we can tell that we have that variety choice is an issue. And don't we have an expected ton that we are supposed to see per variety? What's the expected ton for 4048? That's the peak. That 2 tons is the peak. 1.5 to 2 tons. And that comes with good management. However, IITA has variety that can give you 3 to 3.5 tons. So how do we now want to meet up with South Africa? How do we exceed South Africa? So I think the survey is good. I think we even need more surveys like this to make sure that people are informed about the innovations, the new varieties that we have out there. Now, another question as regarding 1448. 1448, is it an early maturing or medium maturing or late maturing variety? Medium. Medium. Is it medium or early? The maturity, does it mature early or medium or late? Medium. 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 All right. So which means even when we have short duration, we still plant the medium. Which one are we supposed to plant? The early. All right. So choose a variety suited to your agroecological zone. Time to maturity. So with this climate change, we need to understand the suitable variety for your environment at that period. Like, this rain, it seems like it's going to end. NIMET will give you information from the beginning of the season and say you need to plant early or you need to plant late. So you need to know the kind of variety you need to plant. We need to be informed and know the varieties, not just one, that, okay, this is the one that we need to plant. Susceptibility to stem lodging. Does it lodge? 40, does it lodge? Do we know what lodging is? Yes. Yeah, does it lodge? No, it does not lodge. Moderately, okay. Tolerance to shattering, does it shatter? It does not shatter. All right, good. Resistance to pests and diseases. Is it susceptible to some diseases? No, yes, it's susceptible to rust. To bacterial pustule. So we need to know this information. The fact that we don't have rust does not mean that we should not be careless about our preventive measures. Do you understand? So we need to know this information. So just to preach it to us that we have series of varieties. Just to preach it to us that your choice of variety is very, very important. And I've been able to bring it from your own perspective now. The reason why picking just one variety is not ideal. The reason why putting all our eggs in one basket is not ideal. Do you understand? And the reason why we need to let go. No, 1448 is now released for more than 20 years now. Yeah, for more than 20 years now. Next. No, take it back. Sorry, take it back. All right. Another thing, the reason why you have to focus on the choice of variety is the goal of the user. Now, most of the time, farmers plant so that they can sell, right, to the user. What is the goal of the user? You need to have a target market. For some, it will be easy for you to just sell to these processors, like oil, right? So you need to target a variety that has higher oil content than the other. So you are not just planting. You have a reason why you're planting. So if the goal is that, okay, I want to sell to oil to oil processor, then you need to, my target is to get a variety that has higher oil content. If it's for starch, then my target should be, give me the one that has high starch, this thing inside it. Then if it's just for milk, definitely you cannot, you prefer the one with a white seed coat, not the one with black seed coat. You see, that's the target. But do you know that the one with black has higher oil in it than the one that has white? Do you know? But because the marketing one, the one is popular, the one that's popular in the market is that white. So you cannot start producing what you cannot sell. But if you have a market that will buy what you have, why do you have to follow where everybody is going? So we need to understand that the peculiarities of these varieties. All right, next. Okay, now we talked about variety based on maturity and lodging. So this one is lodging and is an early maturing variety. So if for example someone plants this and coincides with rain, that's the quality of the seed is going to reduce, right? And lodging is going to be difficult if the person is using an harvester, for example. It's going to be difficult on a harvester to harvest this because most of it will be crumbed on the ground. Now, shattering, you need to know that the variety I'm planting, is it susceptible to shattering or not. This, see, if you plant this and you have 90% of your plants open like this, what are you going to get on the field again? Because everything is going to be, are you going to now get labor to start picking it on the ground? For how long? So you need to understand the characteristics of the variety that you are planting. Not just to go to the market and just get one variety and plant. Aside the quality of seed that you get from the market, the variety itself, what's the quality of that variety? And it's even not good to just go to an open market to get your seed. That's grain, that's not seed. Then you need to do, see, this is a disease now, or a virus that has affected this one. Is it susceptible to it or not? You need to know. No, then some varieties attract pest, insects than the other. So we also need to understand this. All right, next. Now, there are some released varieties of soybean in Nigeria. These are old boys. I wish I have the new boys here. And thank God we have someone from NCRI. They are the ones that are released. So these are the old boys. Your favorite uncle, sorry, your favorite varieties here. Your favorite varieties here, TGS 4048, and this one was released about now going to 11 years now. But do you know that it has been released for more than 11 years now, but it's not popular because farmers are so used to this. However, this 1 year can give you up to 3 tons, and it has been out there for more than 11 years. For more than 11 years. We have 1904 that also been released for more than 11 years. We also have 1835, an early maturing variety that can also give you up to what 1448 can give you, or even more if very managed. So we need to understand the peculiarity of these varieties: early maturing, medium maturing, and now you can see where they can best adapt: southern and northern Guinea savanna, southern and northern Guinea savanna, southern and northern Guinea savanna. I mean, that's the best place to actually plant soybean. Next. Okay. Now, seed sourcing. Seed sourcing is, where do you get your seed from? In the beginning, I talked about the value chain of soybean, that we can have different circle of it going round and round. Now, we should have the seed companies, the agro shops that will sell quality seeds. Now, we have different categories of seed. We have the breeder seed. We in IITA, what we do is breeding. Because we don't have the luxury of having large-scale production, which means we just multiply, not the one that can go around Nigeria, not to talk of Africa. But we have a mandate for Africa, so we cannot just focus on Nigeria. So smaller portion like that need to go out so that at least it can reach out. So from that breeder seed, it now goes to the next level, which is people that now multiply it for the seed companies to come and pick up. Now those ones after they multiply, those are the foundation seed. So we have like the Go seed. The Go seed here in IITA, that's their job, that's their duty to multiply. So that's foundation seed. Then from there, the seed companies now pick it up. That's where we now have the Premier seed, the Value seed. Which other seed company do we have that was popular? Seedco. And we know that Seedco even have their own varieties of soybean as well. SC Signal, SCSLO1. So they now multiply and they sell. Now, there are qualities, I don't have it here, but before you can call something a seed, there is a quality check that it must meet. For breeder seed, it must be at least 99.1% pure. At least 99%, if we don't, 99.8% pure. The variety must be true. Varietal purity must be true. Physical purity must be true, and the genetic purity must be true. So after they assess the genetic purity, they assess the physical purity, They are going to remove what is not true in it and find the percentage. If it's less than 98%, sorry, if it's less than 99%, it's not a breeder seed. Now, taking it up to foundation seed, it have to maintain that percentage in foundation seed. So if at least it's going to drop, it's only permitted to drop as at the time it gets to, what's it called now? Certified seed. So certified seed is not even permitted to drop more than 98%. It's not permitted to drop more than 98%. But with the seed that we see outside today, most of it are 70%. Genetic purity, you'll be seeing some off-type in it. Physical purity, the chaff, the debris and everything, stone inside it, that's not seed. So because we are missing these steps, it's affecting our output at the end. So we need to go back to following these steps from breeder seed to foundation seed. Not that somebody will not just have access to seed and say, I'm selling seed. No, we need to meet up with the quality. And it's from we farmers as well. If we know what we want to buy, identify the seed, know the seed ourselves, know the difference between this variety to this variety. Then we can boldly say, no, this is not the seed that I want to buy. Then we'll give you the mandate to even sell this seed, right? So do not purchase seeds from an open market. How can you call yourself a seed seller and just an open market? I'm selling. Some of them will just put it inside one bowl and start selling. No. And for we farmers, we should get it from quality agro shops or seed companies. Always buy seed from verified seed companies or the seed producer nearest to you. Now, date of planting. Now, do not plant too early before the establishment of rain, because a prolonged dry spell after planting may result to permanent wilting of the crop. So if you are saying rain is going to fall, then you go ahead, you plant, and you've already planted. It's exposed to the air already. Then if the germination percentage initially was 100%, the longer it stays outside there, it keeps dropping. And until rain falls on it, it's not going to germinate. So it thereby reduces the plant population of what you are supposed to see on the field. Now, the second one says, late planting, on the other hand, may expose the crop to attack by some late season pests and deprive the crop of sufficient moisture if the rain stop early. So initially I said that we need good rain as at flowering stage, right? So somebody now, in Oyo State here, I know by early November, rain begins to stop, right? So now somebody now feels like, I still have time. Now planted his own early October. You need 40 days thereabout, then it starts flowering. Then the rain now stop. No irrigation, nothing. That's like, I've experienced somebody that my advice, don't plant. It's already August. Don't plant. I don't worry. There's irrigation. And late August, the person went to plant. Actually, he sourced for irrigation to tap from a nearby river, but it's very, very, very expensive and it's not efficient. It does not circulate around. So that person, somebody that planted large hectares of land, that's loss. For that person to even see the capital herself, by the grace of God. And I believe that we are not planting for loss, we are planting for profit, and that's our portion. All right, so we should not be late planting as well. It should be as at the right time. It should be as at the right time. Now, the reason being that, let's say for example, we have the advantage of planting 2 times, right, in Nigeria. We can plant the off-season, and we can plant, if we can manage it very well, and the rainy season. But this is what we have observed. During the off-season, there is always infestation of white flies. We know white flies, right? Yeah. Those white, that's like sunflies. They like to suck. So because they need a lot of sugar in their bloodstream and the likes, so they come outside and suck on soybean. In fact, they leave cassava, and because of what they can get more on soybean, they leave cassava farm around and they come to the soybean farm. So, which means that this period is prone to to this set of pests than the rainy season. We don't really encounter whiteflies during the rainy season. What is popular then is pod bugs, and if you can control those ones, they are gone. All right, recommendation dates for planting soybean in Nigeria. Now, in the moist savanna or Sudan Guinea savanna, early June to early July. I mean, like southern Kaduna, early June to early July, and northern Guinea, Sudan savanna, mid-June to early July, like the Niger State area. Then Sudan savanna, like for our side there, you can plant from 1 to 2 weeks, first to second week of July to the third week of July, right? However, you still need to understand that climate is changing every time, right? Climate is changing every time. What we had last year is not what we have this year. As at this time last year, some of us are still waiting for rain. Now, rain is almost every day now. And if you go to go and plant now, it can be disastrous even, because that excess rainfall can affect whatever you plant. So everything needs, we have to use our discretion at the same time to plant. Take it back. The slide is now flying, Ove. All right, seed rate. Now, about 10 to 80 kg, that is 30 to 35 Congo, are required for optimal plant, that's per hectare. Now, this 7 to 80 kg has now been calculated based on your spacing. Initially, you will see something like 50 kg. That was when we were using 75 centimeter between rows, and they were using 10 centimeter between plants. Now we are now using 50 centimeter between rows and 5 centimeter between plants. Now, we've done the row spacing trial to see what is the difference between using 75, and we see that we are only shorting ourselves by not maximizing our land very well. So it has been reduced to 50 centimeter, and the spacing has been reduced to 5 centimeter, which means you have plant population of about 400,000 on an hectare. Initially, if you used the one with 75 centimeter, you are going to be getting about 266,000 plants. See, that's about half of an hectare. So if you increase it to 50 centimeter spacing and 5 centimeter between plants, you are going to get about 400,000 plant population on that hectare. So a lot of things that has not made us to get to that maximum output, because we are not following the management. Now we've gone to visit farm, and we saw farmers that planted their soybean with the spacing of cassava, 1 meter. With the spacing of cassava. So it's just because the information is not there, but we're able to just encourage them. No, you are just. And what happened is that because of that spacing, he had weeds. He had to be controlling weeds. He's tired of controlling weeds. But at the stage at which we visited him, he should have been covered, just waiting for the bumper harvest. All right, next. Okay, so this is probably what you get from an open source market. It's probably what you get, this kind of quality. And this is what you should be getting from a seed company, right? So, and this is just to show you the stages of quality of soybean. From this, you can get some like broken seed. You can get some like probably damaged by the machines that threshed it, or in the course of beating it. These cases and the like. You don't expect this one to germinate. So if you have with the plant population and seed population that we said per hectare now, and you are counting all this one. So if half of the bag is this one, so when you are supposed to have 400,000 plant population, it means that 200 or 150. Now that 150 again, we've not even done germination tests, because it can be fine. Come on, don't be that is dead already. It's just a grain. So maybe that person just get there and be like, is the enemy of his father that is attacking? No, we just missed a step. All right. So next. Now, so planting, spacing, and sowing. Sow soybean by hand, planter, or drilling, depending on the one that is convenient for you. You can use a planter if you have access to machines, and you can sow by hand. So, and we mean by hand that you can drop one, or you can do drilling. Drilling is when you just pour on a straight line. Now, plant 1 or 2 seed per hole at a spacing of 50 centimeter between rows and 5 centimeter between stands. Now, let me emphasize on this. If you've done your germination test, and your germination test is 100%, so what we tell you to do normally is, if this is an hectare and you've already gotten your bag of that 80 kg or 70 kg that you want to plant per hectare, we always advise you split. You can break the plot area into, let's say, 5 or 10, and plant in batches. Now, also do the same for your seed. Do the same for your seed. If you've broken, now my advice, now this one is inside advice, you'll pay for it later. So if you've broken this into 5 or 10, don't share your seed into 10. No. Ask me why. Share it into 15. Because when you give it to labor, they will come back and say, Koto. Do you understand? They will tell you Koto, but meanwhile, if you are dropping it 1-1, I'll share kuni. But because they are drilling, konito. So do it 15. Got more for your Koto now. Yeah, barely lo manage. They will come back and say, how to share kun. Do you understand? So give them the 10 and keep the 5 portion. Eventually you will plant it. Even after the planter and they say that gone, you can now bring it out, refill them. That's inside this. Clap for me now. All right, so now, and in terms of depth, don't make it too deep. Don't make it too deep, like 5 to centimeter deep. Then you cover up. All right. Planting spacing and sowing. Planting spacing and sowing. Okay, this is what we did finish. You make me repeating it. All right, stop there. All right, so this is what you get after that drilling. Some will fall into that space. Some will have to like this. So what we now do is now thin them so that we can have this 5 centimeter space. Because when you do 5 centimeter, it's just like this distance to this distance. Or just like my hand is small. Maybe we can use another hand, for example. So like this, you can now thin, take it back. All right, so you can now remove this, right? You can remove this one as well. So it will now give you that spacing. Everything might not fall into that 5 centimeter, give or take 6, 7, 4. At least it's going to balance it up with some gaps like that. So, however, when you don't thin, this is what you get. Please, what do you observe in this third picture? One. Sir, you are saying something, sir? Yellow. Yeah. This what?
The stands are stronger than this one.
Yes. So it's like the competition is too high. The competition is too high. So you can see it in the output of the plants itself. They are not looking healthy. Now, I intentionally added this because I know I'm speaking to farmers and prospective farmers on soybean. Now, this is what we've observed. Farmers are so kind. Please don't. No, this is what will happen if you don't do that. They will believe that you are wasting the soybean. However, if you don't do that, you will not get this healthy looking plant. You will get this. And at the long run, the output will also be like that. Everything will just be like kwashoko. So we need to in time. So according to the slide earlier, we said when it has about 4 to 5 leaf stage, you do your thinning. Not too early, but when you get to around this stage, you can do your thinning. Next. Are we learning? Any question? Maybe I can ask a question at this point because I'll be talking. Or should I continue? All right. Let's talk about fertilizer. Now, it says a good fertilizer recommendation for soybean production depends on a good soil test. Now, this one is very, very important. Most of the time, farmers tend to even disturb themselves about fertilizer when they don't really need fertilizer. If, for example, you get a very good land, a virgin land a virgin land, or a land that has been left fallow for a very long time, you might not even need fertilizer. Because by the time you do soil test, you see that everything is so balanced, the pH, everything is balanced. Or even you have very good phosphorus in your soil. So this fertilizer recommendation is very, very important that you do soil test if you can, but it's best that you do soil test because it's not really expensive. And it's also good that if you can get the kit, there is soil test kit as well. So if you cannot get it as an individual, you can have like farmers community that you have the kit and you do the test. All right. Under normal conditions, soybean should provide itself with nitrogen through biological nitrogen fixation. You see the reason why I'm saying that we might not even need some of, and nitrogen is very important for soybean. So because it's going to fix and the soil is already good, you might not even put. However, now, until nodulation occurs, the soybean plant depends on soil nitrogen for growth. So in the early stage, it does not have nodules in the roots. It's that it's growing that it has nodules. It's that nodules that help it to fix nitrogen from the atmosphere. So which means in the early stage, if the soil nutrient is not good enough, it will tell you are going to see something like that plant. So if you have done soil test and you see that some nutrients are deficient and missing, you immediately apply those nutrients at the early stage, right? So yeah. Until nodulation occurs, the soybean plant depends on soil nitrogen for growth. Apply a mixture of 2 bags of NPK. For 1 hectare, we recommend that you apply 100 kg bag of NPK in addition with 3 bags of SSP. I believe we all know SSP. So that's like 2:3. So when you are combining your seed now, your fertilizer together, when you are mixing them together, so it's 2:3. I'm intentionally saying this ratio because if you have to mix with a bowl, you want to mix it together with a bowl, you have to take the fertilizer within that ratio too. Don't do 2:1. 2:1 is different from 2:3. Do 2:3 because when you do 2:1, okay, let's say you take the first 2, you now take 1. Yeah. By the time you do it again, it's going to be 4:2. Abi? Which means it's different from. So by the time we do it again, it's not going to be 6:3. It's now making the NPK lower. You are making it lower than. But if you do 2:3, it's going to be consistent with the formula. Now, incorporate the fertilizer into the soil at harrowing or together with seed at planting. So to make it easy, now if you are using just manual labor, it's good for you to, once you've done the soil test and you know they are going to put fertilizer, it's good that they apply fertilizer as a time of planting. You don't have to go and employ another labor again for fertilizer. It's possible that after planting, when they are germinating, you put fertilizer. It's possible, but we are going to employ another labor for that. And 2, one reason why you need to also apply fertilizer early, as at the time of planting, is that because phosphorus, which is SSP or TSP, takes time before it breaks down and starts functioning in the soil. Do you understand? So when you do it early, moisture comes, it breaks down. So by the time the plant needs it as at that early stage, it will be ready for uptake. Do you understand? But if you now put it at the time the plant is already there, the younger plant will miss the nutrient it's supposed to see as at the time it's the breaking down occurs. So if you put, for example, if you have SSP at home, just gonna put it on the soil, you see that 2 weeks you still be seeing it there. It takes time before it dissolves and breaks down. Incorporate the fertilizer into the soil at harrowing or together with seeds at planting. So you can do broadcast method. If the whole area, this is the whole area you want to plant, you can do broadcast method. But you can also do furrow method. If it is a line you want to plant, just apply it along that furrow, then you plant. Does that make sense? So it means that you are putting the whole what's it called now? How do I put it now? The bulk of this thing is focused on that furrow, not on the part that you are not even planting. So that furrow one is advisable. Yes, ma'am.
To be able to fix its own nitrogen to the soil. So why do we need to apply NPK?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So like I said, soil test is very, very important. Soil test is very, very important. And I also say that as at the early stage of planting, it does not start the fixing. It takes root nodules to fix. So it's that with the time that it's going to a reproductive stage, that it start having nodules. But the early stage period, it needs that nitrogen itself as well, right? So because of that, you need to apply that nitrogen fertilizer. That's why I say that you incorporate it as at planting. Then 2, I also said soil test because if you've done your soil test and you see that nitrogen is deficient, you are not going to leave it like that, right? You need to apply. So, but if you do your soil test and you see that nitrogen is very, very high, yeah, you will be okay. But we get to the part where we are going to tell you about nodules. You're going to see the reason why you need to put.
So if nitrogen is sufficient in the soil after conducting the soil test, does it mean we have to leave out NPK?
Yeah, you don't really need to put NPK if nitrogen is but don't forget that NPK is not just nitrogen, no. Potassium. Yeah, so don't forget, because you need this for the podding, the P, right? And if you want the leaves to do very well, you need the potassium itself. Do you understand? So that's why NPK is very important. It's not just for fixing of hair. It's not for nitrogen alone. So it is when nitrogen is deficient that we can say, okay, add more NPK, or we can tell you, or maybe you are seeing that the leaves are not doing well. We can tell you to go and use urea, to add some urea to it. It's not really necessary. So it's when you see like, okay, this potassium is deficient or something is deficient on this field, then you can add urea. Are we done with that one? Okay. To enhance the ability of soybean to form nodules and fix nitrogen, soybean seeds need to be inoculated with rhizobia. Now, despite the fact that soybean is a leguminous crop, does not mean that all leguminous crops have good nodules, and does not mean that all variety of soybean are promiscuous. We call them promiscuous plants. Yes, yeah. So does not mean that they are all promiscuous. It depends on the variety itself. So they do more nodulation. They differ by nodulation. So to help them fix more nitrogen, we always advise this nodule mass, because when you put the rhizobia, there's a bacteria that help with the soil. So by that, it helps with the nodulation of the root. And when the nodulation of the root is good, it helps to fix more nitrogen from the atmosphere. Good, sir. All right. So now, how many people know about nodule mass? Have you heard about nodule mass? I know that we have some people. Good, sir. Good nodule mass. Nodule mass. All right. Let's talk about nodule mass. Nodule mass is, like I said, is a rhizobia. Is like a bacteria that reacts with the soil, that breaks down some components in the soil that help in the nodulation of the roots. So nodules are like cocoa like this in the roots. Sir, they are like cocoa like this in the root of yeah. So those things help to fix nitrogen from the atmosphere. The more they have, the more they get to fix. The more you see their roots stem, the more you see their leaf good, their branching will be very good. And if they have all these things, you intend to have more pods on them, right? So if you now want to have this advantage, so we are not saying that it's always good to add this rhizobia to your seed as at planting. Dress it with this rhizobia so that it can fix more nitrogen. Now, and one of the rhizobia brand that we know and that we have in IITA is called Nodumas. Nodumas is just a brand name, right? Rhizobia is the normal name for it. All right. So now let's now talk about how to inoculate soybean with rhizobia. So if you need to measure 10 kg of soybean, place the amount in any container that will accommodate the seed. Prepare the sticker. Dissolve the content of the enclosed packet of gum arabic into 200 ml of warm water. Now, just to be fast about this, for 100 gram of Nodumas, it comes in a sachet. For 100 gram of that Nodumas, you mix with 10 kg of soybean. You mix it with 10 kg of soybean. So if you are planting 100 kg seed, how many sachets of Nodumas will you need? 10 sachets of soybean, of Nodumas, sorry. So for every 10 kg, you need 1 sachet of Nodumas. So and how do you mix it? So for that sachet, you mix it, you pour it on the seed in the container, and there's something that we call the Arabic gum or gum Arabic inside it. They've already provided it, so you can use that. But if you are planting immediately, you might just put water. But the gum Arabic helps the Nodumas to stick on the seed. So you dissolve it with warm water. Like find a container like this. You pour the gum Arabic inside. Before you get to the feed, it will have dissolved. Then you can just put holes on it. Then you spill the water on the seed. Then you mix thoroughly. Now you can allow it to dry, but don't dry it directly under the sun. Get a shade. The reason being that if you expose this same bacteria to sun, they die. So they will not be able to react again. Right? So it says cover the inoculated seed with a cloth and put it under the shade for the sticker to set. Now, when you know that the moist in the seed has drained and you can now plant, you can plant, or you can plant immediately, like I said earlier, depending. What you just need is the rhizobia to come in contact with the seed. That's just what you need. That black thing to just come in contact with it. No, that's what I'm saying. You can use ordinary water. You might not even use the Arabic self. So it's you can use ordinary water. If you are planting immediately, you can. Now the essence is so that Arabic gum to dissolve is like a powder like this. So when you now put it, it will now dissolve. It will now dissolve with the water. So when you now put that water on it, it becomes sticky. So to hold that Arabic gum with the seed, to hold the Nodumas with the seed. But however, you know that when moisture is already on something, the powder will stick on it. So when you use water normally the powder too will stick on the seed. Then you can plant immediately. But because they've already provided our big gum, we can use it as an advantage. It sticks more on the seed. Yes. Even some people use sugary something. They know that sugary something also melts. So some go with even Fanta. Put Fanta. So some use Coke and they use it as an addictive for it. I'm serious. They don't use beer. They don't use beer. No, it will not affect it. It will not affect it. But you can go with wine, expensive wine. Expensive wine, sir. I'll hand over that one to my colleague. One of my colleagues here can answer that. Yeah. Ma? Yeah. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, of course, it's okay. No, some people like they might have forgotten. You know, it's on the farm now, and before you take it to your warm water, to do do you understand? So and maybe there's no village around that can beg them to get hot water or something. Yeah. So you need to improvise. These things are just based on people improvising. We've used it before now. We've tried it before, yeah. That is a thank God though, before they can report me to the headquarters. Thank God though that it's clear. All right, next. All right, so this is how Noduma looks like for sir. You said you've not seen this is how Nodumas looks like, and at the back of this Nodumas you see the instruction now to use. Everything that I've said is also behind. Now this is an experiment that was done before even marketing Nodumas. The one that was inoculated with Nodumas and the one not inoculated, the same variety. And this is what you get. This greenness, you will definitely see it on it if you really apply it in the right proportion. You see it on it. So this is what you get when you get nitrogen on your plant. This is the performance you should see if good nitrogen is fixing good nitrogen. Yeah. Yes, it's mainly for soybean. Even the is there. They say for leguminous, but they really advise for soybean.
I think if it works for soybeans, it should be able to work for granules.
From this particular brand,
Okay.
they advise for soybean, but they also added into legume, but they advise specifically for soybean. So to answer it clearly, sorry, to answer it clearly, let's go through the instruction. Hmm? Let's go to instruction and stick to the instruction. So even for chemical, some people say me I used okay. Some people say me I used this quantity, I use that quantity. I will always tell you, just follow the instruction that you have on the brand. Next, our time is rolling. Now, weed control, of course, manage your weed very well. If you manage your weed very well, your soybean will thank you for it. Manual weeding can be done. You can use chemical control just with selective herbicides. We have different brands of selective herbicide like Hemba, Olise, blah, blah, and so on and so forth. They are not paying for advert, I will have mentioned more. All right, so, and the time you need to apply your glyphosate, like I said earlier, post-application, pre-emergence application, those stages are also very, very important. This will help you control your weed very early. Next. Insect and pest control. Now, one thing I did not say in the beginning is to be a farmer, to go into soybean farming, one thing that you first need, even before land preparation, is interest. You need to be able to tell yourself that I want to do this. Now, so then if you have convinced yourself that you want to do that, you've done your research just like what you are doing now, then you should know that you don't plant your soybean and leave it for one farm manager or just be calling somebody at the village. You have to be friends with your field. And that's the only reason, that's the only way you can combat this. Because if you stay outside the field and you're just looking at it, you'll be seeing your feed green, fine, just like what we saw before. But the pods are already sucked dry by pod bugs. So it's when you go inside, check them, look around. If you see one or two, then you know that they are starting to infest. Before they infest, you control them. Right? Good. So from flowering onward, soybean becomes attractive to pod-sucking bugs that can seriously reduce seed quality. Insect pests can be controlled with a single spray of cypermethrin and dimethoate 10 EC at the rate of 100 ml in 15 liters of water. So we also have other brands of insecticides that you can also use. Next, harvesting and threshing. Now we've taken you through the production process, but harvesting and threshing is also important. And at maturity, the pod is straw colored. We know what it looks like when it's matured. I showed you a picture of one. Harvesting of soybean is recommended when about 95% of the pods have turned brown for a non-shattering variety, but 85% for shattering varieties. So, which is saying, well, if you know your variety very well, because there are some shattering varieties that they have very good seed size that are very big, but they are shattering. Like for example, TGS 19F. There is a very good variety, but it's a shattering variety. So once you've already identified that variety, that is a very good variety, is what I want, but I know it's shattering, which means that you don't wait for it to be fully matured before you harvest. So for that one, it's something that you can go and harvest at that 85% and get a very big mat, carpet or something, then you put it on it so that everything that shattered falls on it, right? So you can dry using that method. The crop can be harvested when the seeds are at the hard dough stage, which means that they can also be harvested even before they are matured for some people that need to harvest very early. It's already mature, but the pods are still green. Now, the seed moisture content is between 14 to 16%. So if you are harvesting from the feed, it should be between 14 to 16%. So, but there are some moisture requirements that you have to reach if you are selling. If somebody is going to buy from you, like a foreign person or a seed company wants to buy for your processing company, they need a particular moisture level in your grain or your seed. Harvesting can be done with a cutlass, a hoe, sickles, or mechanized operation. We now have combined harvester that can harvest, thresh, clean at the same time. Cut the mature plants at ground level. Cut the mature plants at ground level. Stack them loosely on tarpaulin and allow them to dry in the open before threshing. Thresh manually or mechanically when the plants are properly dried as soon as possible. Storage, dry to 12% moisture for storage for 6 to 12 months and 10 to 11% for longer storage. Now, like I said, there are requirements for moisture level. So for those of us that are keeping our seed to plant again, that's like a cycle of 1 year. It means your seed needs to get to a moisture level. It needs to be dry to a level if you want it to be still viable for that period. And place the bags of clean soybean on a rack in a cold room or in an ambient store. Ambient store where the temperature is cool. Where temperature is cool, not hot, not with high humidity. Not with high humidity. Torumu. You will only be seeing the fine grain, but it's no longer seed. So we need to be careful and make sure that it's not just kept on the bare floor because of the moist from the floor, right? Or the heat from the floor. So we need to consider that. And also, they also advise that when stacking it, some people would not stack it on the bare floor, but on the rack, but still very close to the wall. Give some space from the wall. I think with this viewpoint of mine, I've been able to convince you and not to confuse you that soybean production is something you should come into. Thank you.
Yeah. A round of applause for him again. Thank you, Mr. Kende Olabode. For more than 1 hour, you've spoken a lot on many of the things we need to know. Yes, we'll have time to have questions, but there's more to do on the field. You will agree with me that many of these things that we have learned should be shown us properly, and we can ask our questions on the field. We don't want to take too much of our time because of the weather, so we will need to proceed. Please just put your questions down so that you don't... What? All right, of course, we'll take group photographs. So please, your questions, so that you don't forget, you can write them down so that you can ask on the field, and other questions that we also need to ask. We see that some other farmers came in. Let us just take some introductions. Please tell us your name and where you're coming from. Thank you.
My name is Odedele Peter Kende from Oyo.
All right, sir, welcome. It took a long time from Oyo. All right, yes, sir.
I'm Samuel Adidotun Jenfa from Awe Town.
From
Awe.
All right, from Awe. Thank you for coming, sir. Welcome. And you too, sir.
I'm Adi Oluwafemi Philemon from Oyo.
All right, from from Oyo. We have many participants coming from Oyo. So thank you so much. We're happy that you could join us. So what we'll do now is to we'll make arrangements. We'll take a group photograph. After the group photograph, there are some buses outside. We'll lead you to the buses. Then we can go to the field where many of these things that you have seen here will now be taught properly. It will be practical time, and you can ask many of your questions. Thank you very much. A round of applause for all of us. Thank you. Yeah.